As I mentioned in the email, really there is not a set agenda. Some weeks we may have one where a question might arise within the group, and we say, we're going to brainstorm around that, or everyone bring resources that demonstrates this. But for this first one, it really is completely open to whatever we can work on together during this time. I do like to start all of these with what are some wins that you've had in the last couple days or last week. So what really positive things have been going on in your lives?
Positive. Should I go first?
Sure.
Well, I just came from school. I met some teachers there. What I learned about myself, I'm learning to become more flexible, especially with the situation we're having now.
Yeah,
and appreciate even the small things. Yeah.
What are one of those small things that you're appreciating right now?
Well, just short conversations with people I'm just working with.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
We went to the beach last week, and that was definitely a win.
Right on. What is your beach? When you go to the beach, where do you go?
I envy you.
Oh. We go to Cape Charleston, Virginia, and there was like tons of space around us. We didn't have to worry, so it was awesome.
Wow.
That's great. Hi, Tammy and Kim, welcome. We're just going around right now saying what our wins are from the past week. So what are some positive things going on in your life? And you can share if you'd like, but I like to take the time to go through those.
I just
know it's
back into Madison. So he's back in person and he's excited about that.
Oh, awesome. Good. Thank you, Kim. Tammy, anything good going on for you?
It's crazy right now. We're trying to get ready to go back to school, so most of the week has been just crazy.
Yeah. Your bookshelf looks great, by the way.
Thank you.
The good background. There's that rating, that one that does the rating of backgrounds of presenters, so you would get a high score on
Oh,
that.
thank you.
Hey, and I have to share something. It's not about me. It's not a win, but I think it's a kind of cool win. And I shared this with Adam before, but I don't know how many of you have been to Adam's sessions that he did for VASCL. He did all these workshops for VASCL since April. And I had one of the school division leaders contact me and said, could I share the videos with the parents? And I'm like, yes, what a great idea. And that's what she's doing. My phone's going to be quiet now, but isn't that a cool win?
Yeah.
I was
Absolutely. And Liza has reached out and said, do you want to start doing sessions for parents? And I haven't replied to that email yet. So I'm just trying to figure out what the beginning of the year looks like for me as an educator, as a dad, having both my boys at home with me. The school system where my older son goes and my wife works announced on Tuesday that it's going to be all virtual until at least January. So lots of big changes in our house. And I found out today that she's still required to go in every single day from 8 till 3. So I'm going to be solo and trying to help people the best I can during that time too. So prayers and grace are definitely appreciated.
I'm sorry, I'm going to be personal again, just saying, because I work with the Waynesboro YMCA. We're starting a childcare program in case you need it, just to let you know.
Well, remember, so
many people need childcare that all these community organizations have banded together to provide childcare for everybody in Waynesboro. So anyway, just saying.
Love it. Thank you guys. It looks like we have a couple of participants who aren't doing video, and that's fine. You can chime in at any point. If you got in here a little bit later, oh, hi guys, welcome. There was a request that I got in an email to record, so it is going. But any questions that you have, now's a great time to start throwing them out there so that we collectively can kind of wrap around and make things happen. So it can be, based on what we went over last week, it could be about the structure of the course or something entirely different. So it really is completely open. Any big ideas or topics you guys want to get into?
I'll start.
I had oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Was that you, Megan? You can go first.
I just so I'm, trying to put together like a PowerPoint back to school thing. And I was I know there's a way that you can save, we did docs the other week, and you can like save it so people who see it are view only. And you can add a link that way. Can you add a link to a PDF?
Do
you know? So I created the birthday list for the class. Is the only way to link it as like a Google Doc view only?
Let me look real quick. I don't use a ton of PDFs, so we'll need to try it out. So let me open a PDF. I'll share my screen and we'll look at that together. Now, are you trying to post it like on a website or in Classroom, or where is it going?
We use Schoology, so it's going in like a folder so that they can see everyone's birthdays.
Okay. Yes, let me open up my drive and then I'll share my screen in just a second.
Okay.
And we'll take a look together.
Are you wanting it to be typable, or is it just for them to look at?
It's just for them to look at.
So what I found is, as long as the PDF is in my Google Drive, I can get a link for that PDF the same way I get a link for a Google Doc or sheet or slide. And then I can post that wherever I want to post it.
Okay. Because I think what happened is I have, from before everything went digital, I have this like just Word document that I always do for the birthdays because I really like the design. So I should just upload that as a document into my drive.
You can do either. So if you want to look at my screen real quick, I have my drive pulled open and only PDF showing. So if I select this remote learning one and go to the share button, so in here, it lets me pick who can see it. Right now it says anyone on the internet with this link can view. Now that's one I don't own, so let me find one that I do own. We'll do this one. So when I click on that, I can change it if I need to, and it says viewer. I can give that link out to someone.
Okay.
Yeah. Good
Thank
question.
you.
You're welcome. Okay. Was there another question out there too?
I was just interested, and I did email you. I was interested in finding out if could be more stuff that we can do. Like I know that sounds crazy. I seem to not be able to really connect with what we're doing and be able to maintain it, retain it, unless I actually walk through the process. And I mean, for me, sometimes that takes multiple times, which of course I'm realizing as an educator, I definitely want to transfer that into my classroom, and everything that I really want the students to maintain. I'd like for them to be able to actively engage in walking through something, knowing that that keeps them a little bit more engaged and they retain more. So I would love any suggestions you have about that. I know you did have us do one thing the last class, I guess, that we did our session or whatever, but if you have resources to, more things that I can practice and do, I would love that.
And so that's something that it leads into something that I'm going to introduce to the cohort next week. And I'm showing you cohort 1 site right now. Over the next few weeks and months, the cohort will build out a resource website. And so we'll get into groups, and each group will have 1 or 2 different Google G Suite tools. And you're going to build out some content with that. So again, we'll go over this much more next week, but here's an exemplar. So each of the tools, and we have them linked up here, the team will come up with like I encourage like 2 or 3 sentence description of the tool. They went a little bit longer, which is perfectly fine. You can also add in a video that might provide an overview of what YouTube is, what Docs is. Then down below, you see the challenges on the left I've put in a challenge for each of the tools, and those are the ones that I give out to you during our sessions. And then on the right-hand side, the cohort, that group is going to make their own example. And with this, I've had a few groups reach out and say, can we all make a challenge and then turn it into like Google Slides so that people can go and click through and be able to see, here are some different ways that you can build your skills for YouTube or using slides or whatever. And then as we keep going down, and this group is a little bit further ahead than other groups, and they've added some extra pieces in it. But there was a section for favorite ideas, resources, and links. So with that, they went in and said, you can use timers, you can use it for making your own videos and how you can license music and things like that. So all of this we're building it for a few different reasons. One, to help all of us be able to study for the exams as they come up, which meets the need that you just talked about. Number two, I view all of you as teacher leaders. And so, not only are we learning for our own growth and being able to impact our students, but then hopefully we'll be able to also share this with other people. And now when we go and do that, we have a website that covers 15 different tools or 12 different tools, has instructional resources, has ways that those teachers can help practice as well. So that's kind of where we're going. And I think that partially meets your need. The other place that I would encourage you to check out would be the Teacher Center, which I know you've seen a couple times, but in here we have training courses. And move things around a little bit. And going through this first one for new learners, and that will align pretty closely with what we're doing in class. So those would be the two pathways that I would take right now. Does that sound, well, since you guys all got kind of the sneak peek at where we're going, any feedback or questions that you have about the site or about the question that I was responding to? And with the website that we're building, we will spend quite a bit of time next week for our session looking at Google Sites and how we can use that tool. So we're definitely going to build in the knowledge about how we can publish a site, how we can collaborate, and then kind of turn it loose where collectively we'll be putting those together.
I was going to pipe in, Kara, you did some of Adam's sessions as well earlier, right? The individual 1-day workshops, 1-hour workshops.
Oh yeah, I did a lot of them. They were great. Sorry, no makeup.
But all of those, the video recordings for every single, there were 12 different workshops, and there are links to those all on the Basco website. So if there are ones you didn't participate in and want to get the links, the video recordings are there of those. So if there are any tools that you're interested in going back there, that's a resource too. Then you got Adam presenting it, which helps too, right? Yeah.
Yes, it definitely does. And I definitely have used that, and I have shared it with my department, and I've shared it with other people, and I'm actually building a website, and I shared it there. I hope you don't mind.
Oh no, you asked, it's fine.
That's right.
That's like,
yeah.
When the person wrote me and said, can I share this with parents? I'm like, yeah, we put it out there for public access, but what a great idea. Because parents have to learn how to use these tools too, right? And this is great. So
they really do. I do love that idea. I know, Adam, that might make you a little scared, but I actually was just thinking about it. I was in some of the RPS trainings this morning, or just a few this afternoon. And that was my common thought throughout the trainings was, we need something for the parents. Like, here we are as teachers, we're learning now, and then we're going to have to teach our students, they call it pre-teaching or whatever. And then in my mind, I was already thinking, I'm like, okay, who's going to take on the task of doing the videos for the parents? Yeah. Like I was thinking about that all afternoon. So, I mean, maybe it can be some sort of joint collaborative effort or something, but that is definitely a need, because there are parents out there and they're hungry. They want to learn this stuff. And, now we've put the tools, especially like with our district, with our PS, they gave one-on-one or one-to-one devices to every family for every student. So now we have the opportunity to reach parents in a way that we never did before. And if we can put those tools in their hands, that could be a generation gap filler. Okay, off my soapbox. Thanks.
But I'm
So-
sorry, I have to finish one more quick thing because Kara, I just got contacted by somebody else on RPS who said he's a grandfather. And he's like, yeah, my granddaughter just got a Chromebook. I'm so glad that I was in Adam's class. And I don't know, right? You know, but it's the same thing. Sorry.
So one other resource that I would encourage to pass on to teachers and families as well would be, sorry, one second. Applied Digital Skills. And this is a great website. So in here, it says that it's for teachers and students, but if you click on lessons, there's a lot in here for adult learners too, and you can see that here on the left-hand side. So this won't necessarily be for that learning management system that your district uses, but how do we stay connected over summer break? So this would be for the teachers that we work alongside. If I clicked on adult learners, it's going to come up with, and here we have G Suite certification docs part 1. So again, that's going to fill in with what you're talking about. But use digital tools for everyday tasks. If I click on that as a parent and start to look through it, it has video step-by-step resources for how to do these challenges. So when we go into next, I can watch any of my videos, how to create a strong password. I'm able to download it. I can turn captions to picture-in-picture so that I'm able to be in, if it's about how do I share something in Google Docs, I can be in Google Docs and still watch that step-by-step video. I love that there's a transcript. So when we think about like universal design, I can click on this sentence. And it's
Pick
gonna
one
take
that
me
helps you remember
that
your
part of the
password
video,
easily.
which is really cool.
Long
And I
password.
assume pretty helpful. The other resource that, and this is really for general help for our parents, would be, sorry, it's been a little bit since I've used this tool, Learn GC Free. I think, no. Oh, let's see. Goodwill Learn. Is this it? Did they change things? Okay, yeah, so gcflearnfree.org. So in here, there are step-by-step guides for a lot of different tools. So in here, I can go to technology and has how do I use, let's see, Chrome, how do I do online safety, get around on a Mac. I think there's somewhere in here for Google Docs or Google Drive as well. And this is a helpful resource that I pushed a lot of people to in the last couple of years. But in here, if we need them to learn how to use Google Docs, we can click on that and have a whole course that's already built and designed for these adult learners.
That looks awesome. Now the project for me to be able to link it up. And what did you say you searched? Because when I tried to type in that web address, it didn't come up.
It is gcfglobal.org. So they changed their website recently, it looks like.
Got it. Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions or things that we can work through together?
I'm glad that your videos are in one channel. I just subscribed to it and I was able to access everything there. Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a good way to go about it. And, I know some of you have been on my website. We're not using it a whole lot for this course, but on my website, we do have almost everything's been pushed through the VASCL part, but I have a separate page called sessions, and these are ones that I've done that aren't necessarily for this series. So in here, my dog is rolling around. We have some on GeoTools, how to do student websites, coding, arts and culture, different research tools. And with any of these, I have my slides in here. There probably aren't going to be recordings of these, but you can definitely get some ideas for additional strategies or resources to try in your classroom. And I'll drop this in the chat too.
Adam, I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
In the video, I followed one task that you asked the class to do, and this is regarding creating a folder and then a subfolder inside that. My question is, what if I have a different level of permission for my subfolder? Does it not automatically inherit whatever permission I assign to the main one?
It does automatically, but if you go in and manually change a subfolder, it's going to keep that different setting.
Okay.
So when I was a classroom teacher, Google Classroom didn't exist yet. So I made a pretty crazy folder structure where it had my class. Here are files for everybody. Here are files for this individual student, and they could submit through there. But because I could make those different folder settings for each thing, they behaved the way that I wanted them to.
Okay.
But now we get spoiled with things like Classroom and Schoology and all that.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Any other questions out there? How are you feeling as we move into the next couple of weeks? How are we doing?
Adam, is there some sort of like check mark? And I know I looked over the skills. I can't believe I'm asking this, but is there some sort of like assessment that we can take to where we know we've gained all the skills from week 1?
I think that I put, I need to share my screen again. This is the loudest dog. Okay. So in our class, we have classwork, and under cohort resources is updated level 1 skills checklist. So that would be the primary place that I would try out. And then the other would be the teacher center in those courses, and just kind of bouncing through to make sure that you have the skills that are covered for level 1. So again, in here we have training courses and start training. I'll log in real quick just so we can see, okay, I'm in there. And when I resume, I can just go through to each of the reviews and try out those questions if I want. And it will keep track of all that time. And then when I'm all done, you know, I feel like you should have a pretty good grasp on some of the questions in here. The other part that I would do, if you are unsure about a particular tool, again, coming in here and finding that particular tool that you might need. So building interactive lessons, or let's see, Google for Education. No, that's not what I want. So most of you right now are doing the fundamentals. Eventually we'll get into advanced. This is a resource that you could use in art in Richmond, is that Chromebook training. And you know, I bet you could even pass that on to the parent. I'm just using a personal account right now, so that could be helpful too. And they do have some really powerful other modules in here. So digital citizenship, diverse learners, ELL students, and distance learning for educators. So any of those would be really powerful to try out too.
So where should we be as of after the last meeting?
So where should you be as of the last meeting? If you are in our skills checklist, you know, we've gone through slides and Drive in Docs. So that would be where I would expect you to be. Probably between now and next Thursday, I'm going to shoot out just a mini lesson on how to use YouTube. And that will be maybe like a 5-minute video overview and then a challenge along with that. So those are kind of the big pieces. We will, for the next 4 or 5 weeks, get 3 different tools covered per a class, and then have 1 or 2 interstitial lessons coming out during that time too.
Okay, thanks. Somehow I missed that last piece that you just said. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Adam, can you please share that website? Okay, again, where we would go to for Google to do the skills shop.
Yeah, so from our classroom page, if you go to cohort resources,
Right.
there should be something published in there called Updated Level 1 Skills Checklist and Exam. When you click on Skills Checklist within that, it's
No,
a
I got
document.
that. I got that one, but the
Oh.
one at the Google site.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me drop this link in
Okay.
to our chat.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm. And again, all of those are free. They're self-paced. You do not need to go in a suggested order. You can bounce around to whatever topics you feel you need. And do browse Google for Education. I know you used to be able to filter for the modules on a certain tool. Haven't been in this one as much.
Yeah, they all seem really general, and I wouldn't know necessarily where one skill fell. I don't, I don't know their organizational thought process yet this early.
Yeah, let me go back and see if I have the old link listed anywhere for you, okay?
Thank you.
That's a newer one. Oh, okay. So if you go to where it says product guides in the Teacher Center, and they have, 10 different ones listed in there, and those really are going to be the primary ones in the exam as well. As you scroll down, you get to discover training lessons and related resources. So in here, you'll see that these are the advanced ones. So that will be the level 2, which will be later on in our course. But up here, you can refine by training level. So we want fundamentals. And so now I would only be seeing docs lessons at that fundamental level. And when I switch to, let's do forms, and I do training level, we can see having a mostly paperless classroom, measure, understand, and share student growth. And I can switch to advanced, and we get things like optimizing workflow, personalized learning, interpreting student data. So those could be pretty helpful in there too.
Awesome, thank you. So go to product guides and then refine by training level.
Yep. Thank you for joining, Megan. Have a good day. All right, so looks like we are right around 5 o'clock. We went a little bit over. I do want to thank you all for joining today. If you have a last question, I can stick around. There is a fly attacking me. I'll shoot a follow-up email to everybody. I'll post this in our classroom as well, the video. But any last minute questions that y'all have? Okay. Well, thank you, and good luck, as you know, a lot of you are starting back in the next week, or you might have kids who are starting back. I'm rooting for you. I believe in you. You've got this. All right. Have a good day. Bye, guys.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Adam.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.